Thank you for joining again and welcome back. I have not been able to, I could not finish when we started. That was a plan to do 18 classes for 18 chapters. So, three of us, myself, Swami Sahajanandaji, and Swami Vairagyanandaji, we decided to do 6 chapters each. Unfortunately, because of the internet connection, I could not finish part of chapter 4, then chapter 5 and 6. And then Vairagyananji mentioned to me that it is better for you, since you started, to finish it with chapter 18. So in this class and the Friday class, we will wrap it off with a conclusive idea about chapter 4, part of chapter 4, 5, 6, and chapter 18, which is actually a summarization of all chapters. So this is our plan. So let us close our eyes. Let us remember God and Gurus in the breath. May their presence, may their blessings, may the blessings of Divine Mother, the Bhagavad Gita, guide us through our speech, through our listening, through our understanding, and finally, realization. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shyamacharanamadyamam Asmadacharya Pariyantam Bande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Iswaro Gururatmaiti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyaptadehaya Sri Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Before we start our discussion, I'll chant the first verse of meditation on the Divine Mother Bhagavad Gita. If you remember this verse, please chant with me with closed eyes. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrutavarshinim Bhagavatim Astadashaധ്യായിനിം Amba Tvamanusandadhami Bhagavat Gite Bhavadveshinim. So we took a very interesting way to approach the Bhagavad Gita, discussing one chapter in a very short period of time, which is half hour. And when I started, I finished part of chapter 4, which is Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. One of the very interesting part and very useful part for our sadhana, for our practice, which I'll discuss on chapter 4. I'll give a summarization of chapter 5. And on Friday, coming Friday, we'll discuss chapter 6 and we'll discuss what the Lord has summarized in chapter 18. You might be knowing that chapter 18, the last chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, is more or less a summarization of Lord's teaching with some critical aspects into it that we'll discuss on Friday. In chapter 6, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, we discussed Lord has given clearly, because in chapter 2, in the first chapter, Lord spoke about to Arjuna. Arjuna spoke to Lord about his difficulties, his confusion, his delusion. On chapter 2, Lord gave the idea that what is really knowledge. Lord called it Viveka Jnanam, and how to find out who has knowledge. That was Sankhya Yoga in chapter 2. In chapter 3, Lord went and started speaking about when Arjuna asked that if you are talking about knowledge, then why don't you allow me to seek knowledge? Why are you pushing me to do some activities like particularly this war? So when Arjuna has asked this, Lord has started speaking about Karma Yoga. And he says that without doing your duties, there is no way you can get knowledge. In chapter 4, Lord is elaborating this knowledge and activities or duties, how to perform our duties in little detail. We discussed part of it. Even if you do not remember those, it is not very important. What we are going to discuss today is the core of chapter 4, what the Lord is telling for us to do. Because earlier we discussed that if we look at the Bhagavad Gita from a concept of uh, a discussion between two human beings, even if it is a discussion between Lord and a devotee, it is irrelevant for us if it is not useful for us. So we are studying the book, we are studying a conversation because it was useful to Arjuna then, it was useful yesterday, it is useful today, and it will be tomorrow, it will be useful tomorrow. Hence, this teaching is called eternal because it does not depend upon the concept of time. This teaching uh, goes beyond the idea of time because it is always useful. Hence, it is the teaching of Lord. And that is why these teachings are called Sanatana teachings or the eternal teachings of Lord. So that is the reason we are discussing about it. Why we are discussing? What kind of usefulness we are going to get out of it? It is because our life is not smooth. Day in and day out, there is confusion within us, what to do, what not to do. We do not have clarity. We do not know exactly what we would like to achieve. We suffer because of our own actions and we do not know how to correct it. Sometimes we are uh, forced by our inherent nature to do some activities knowingly that this is going to bring us, this is going to take us to miserable condition. All these things are applicable to everyone in this world. So the teaching must address to each and every human beings because each and every human being more or less is facing the same problem. If we go deep down to somebody's problem, then we'll see the problem is because of restlessness, anxiety, confusion, doubt, not knowing himself or herself. And if we look at ourselves, we know very well that we don't want to be in this situation. Nobody wants to be in anxiety. Nobody wants to be in restlessness. Nobody tells happily that, look, I love anxiety. I love restlessness. So this teaching Lord is giving from chapter 2 onwards till chapter 17 and summarizing in chapter 18 is just to bring this idea that what you need to do, what we need to do. So in the Karma Yoga, in the part of activities, Lord says that you must do your duty selflessly and it should be directed for everyone. So you say, what is the meaning of selfless and everyone else? Because often I look at my duty confined to myself. Well, it is understood that certain things we do it for ourselves. For example, I have to take food for myself. But if we consider each and every duty of ourselves dedicated or intended for myself, then Lord says that this particular activity needs correction. So Lord is giving 12 check mark, you can say, or 12 types to understand how to do action. So that is our core discussion today. I will go through. Lord calls it, and this action, Lord calls it, is paramount. It is absolutely necessary for us to get that viveka jnanam or discriminative knowledge. So the first, Lord calls it in Sanskrit as yajna. In traditional way, we know understand yajna, those of you who are familiar with Sanskrit. Yajna we understand is when, as fire ceremony, where we um, um, do ceremony and offering uh, clarified butter, and that we call as yajna. Lord tells no. Yajna is how you perform your duty, and Lord gives us check checklist to see in which way we are performing our duties, and whether whatever I am doing or performing can be considered as a duty or not. So the first one, Lord calls it, which is the highest form of sacrifice or highest form of action, is called Brahma Yajna. If you have a note, please take a note of it. It will be very useful when you want to do self study and to verify. The first one is called Brahma Yajna, which actually you would be surprised is what our masters has been telling us again and again. And Brahma Yajna is Kriya Yoga. The definition of Brahma Yajna is to feel that the doer, whoever is doing, whatever is being done, the instrument that is being used to uh, perform these activities, and the objects upon which the activities are being done are the manifestation of supreme reality or Brahman. This is called Brahma Yajna. If you go back to our tradition of Kriya, our masters, Sri Gurudev especially, has again and again said, who is doing? Ask, who is doing? Whose breath it is? Who is breath? And if we analyze it, he says, God is doing the activities, or the soul within is doing the activities. Breath is God. God is pulling the breath. So everything, the one who is doing, upon whom the work is being done, the work itself, all these are Brahman. And this is called the highest form of meditation or action, called as Brahma Yajna. The second one is Bhagavat Arpana Yajna. This is little below, we can say, where whatever activities that we do, to feel that the action, the objects, and we as part of Lord and offer to Lord. Now the difference between the first one and the second one is that the identification is missing. So I say that not God is breath. I am offering my breath to God. In the first case, God is breath. In the second case, I am offering my breath to God. So this is second form of action. And Lord says, every action when you perform, you offer it to God. The, the third one is Abhinnata Rupaka Yajna. Here, to have a um, uh, to have the idea of detachment, like these are not mine. So I do the activities, but it is not mine. And again reminding that this world is false. Only God is real. Now, you may ask, what is the difference between this one and the first one? In the first one, the world is also Brahman. In the third one, there is a difference between the world and Lord. So I say the world is false, hence I must withdraw from the world. Please note that these are activities, a different state of mind. So as we grow, as we change within, we'll see that within us, the type of activities, the type of attitude is going to change. The fourth one is Sanyama Rupaka Yajna. To try again and again to control the sense organs. There are 10 sense organs, including the mind, which we call as 11th, 5 sense of perception, 5 sense of actions, and the mind, and to withdraw it, to control it. I'm sorry, five sense of perception only in this case. So to control the eyes, not to see bad, to control the tongue, not to go after taste, to control the ear, not to hear negative things about others, like that. Because these are the main reason for restlessness, and hence the sense organs must be controlled. The fifth one is Vishaya Havana Rupaka Yajna. This is applicable to uh, when we experience the world, uh, whenever we are observing something, suppose we are hearing something, as soon as we hear, there is a reaction in the mind. Sometimes it is a pleasant reaction, sometimes it is an unpleasant reaction, sometimes it is neutral. So the Lord is telling that try again and again to remain neutral. Because if something pleases me, then something else will displease me. So the sadhaka or the practitioner must try again and again to bring neutrality, that let that be no attachment, neither hatred for anything that I perceive. So this is a sign of growth, and this is something we need to practice. The fourth one, is the sixth one, is Samadhi Rupaka Yajna. In this, we should control mind, intellect, sense organs, and the breathing exercise, the pranic flow in the body. And through that, when the knowledge shines, to remain in that knowledge. So the Lord is telling, when you do several, you control or you discipline several sense organs, the mind, and also the life force within, then automatically knowledge would shine, understanding will come. To remain in that knowledge and not disconnecting from that knowledge, Lord is telling, is actually practice. So please do that. In seventh one, it is called Dravya Yajna. Now, in this case, people who do charity, people who help others selflessly without expectation is called Dravya Yajna. Lord is calling it as an activities which would lead to mental purification. Dravya Yajna is to do good for others through material benefit. Then the eighth one is Tapo Yajna. Tapo Yajna is, suppose we have identified a duty. Let us say that myself, I have identified to cook for everybody. When I am cooking, there would be obstacles. Somebody will say, look, the food is not good. Somebody will say salt is more. Somebody will say salt is less. Somebody will say chili is more. Somebody will say chili is less. Sometimes food ingredient is not available. If you're in India and if you're doing traditional cooking using coal or cow dung or using wood, sometimes there is rain, that there is no firewood. These are obstacles. These are simple duty, simple obstacles. Lord says, if you have accepted a duty, make sure that the obstacles don't bother you. The obstacles don't take you away from your duty. Sometimes when we are doing a duty and obstacles start coming, or people complain, or people criticize, we push it away. We push the duties away. Lord says, no, no, no. That is not right. What you need to do is that find a way to solve that other problem so that you can perform the duty. And Lord calls it as Tapo Yajna. Ninth one is Yoga Yajna. The Yoga Yajna means whenever you take up an activities, there is bound to be success or failure. We have discussed in the earlier class that any action is going to give 4 types of results: expected result, below expected result, above expected result, or opposite of expectation. I'm expecting, let us say I went for the exam I expect 70%. If I go, I may get 50%. I may get 90%. I may get 70%. Or I may completely fail. Lord says that what is yoga yajna is that when the result comes to you, do not get disturbed. Maintain equanimity. So that's why in one of the definition of yoga, Lord has said, samatvam yoga, excuse me, uchyate, means remaining in equanimity is yoga. So maintain equanimity. Whenever success comes, don't get excited. Whenever failure comes, not to get dejected, remain in equanimity. So this is a practice. I'm not suggesting that we are all there. I'm not suggesting that we'll be there tomorrow. Hope somebody does. What I'm suggesting is that we need to again and again try to be there. This is our practice. The 10th one is swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means to study scriptures, to study knowledgeable books, to study master's teaching, guru's teachings, to study our own selves, and also at the same time inspire others for goodness, to go forward. In many places in the Bhagavad Gita, I exactly do not know which verse Lord is telling that always be an inspiration for others. Because looking back, the only thing that we can achieve is some understanding what happened in the past. Past cannot be changed. So Lord says, look forward, because that is what we can change. That is what we can modify. So let us, at least in our life, inspire ourselves, inspire others to move forward. Whatever has happened in the past, happened. In the future, what can be done? In the future, what are the possibilities? So Lord calls it as teaching others. And another form of swadhyaya yajna is to chant Lord's name. We are going to do chanting today. We are also going to do chanting Friday. So to chant Lord's name through singing, through bhajans, through kirtans is also called as yajna. The 11th one is something that we all familiar. It's called pranayama. And this is where we do some kind of breathing exercise or some kind of pranic exercise only by the teachings of masters. So it is said, whatever pranayama vidhini, it says guru pradarshita marge, means whatever the guru has directed at. So the masters have said not to go to a book or internet and do some pranayama techniques for knowledge. Must go to a guru. And in chapter 4, I will tell you, he has said, the Lord has said about it. 12th one is called the Stambhavruti Pranayama, which is actually a higher form of pranayama. I would tell a little bit in the Yoga Sutra, chapter 2, verse number 50. If you have Yoga Sutra book of Sri Guruji, please refer to this. There is in our life, there is exhalation, there is inhalation, then there is hold. We practice that in certain ways, That certain ways is very critical or very important, how it has been advised to us by the masters. So we know Kriya Pranayama, I'm not going to discuss that. But some of the things to do, remember, is that exhalation means throwing out negativities. Exhalation also means to look and remember divine outside. Inhalation is to bring peace, calmness, purity inside. And inhalation also means to see divine inside. Hold, to remain still within. The the inner meaning of inhalation, exhalation, and hold is this. It is written very clearly if you go and refer to our Yoga Sutra book, chapter 2, verse number 50. Then the Lord says that if you do all these activities, if you do your activities within this parameter, these 12 parameters, one of them, then knowledge will come to you. And how to know? The Lord says, you should go to somebody, a master. There are two kinds of masters. One who has realization, and one who has studied scriptures. Lord says, you should always go to one who has realized and also has studied scriptures. In Upanishad, Lord has called Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam cha Anubhavi or Shastragya. Shrotriya means has studied scriptures, and Brahmanishta means has realized. Lord says, you go there, and what to do with them? Not praising them, you are great, you are great. Lord says, you must do three things. Make a promise to yourself that you are there to study him, study from him. You are going to learn from him. So you bend down. Only when we bend, knowledge will flow. So you bend down, you surrender. We call it as bow. Bow does not mean physical bow only. Bow means mental bow, that I have come here to learn. I have not come here to teach. Many times it's possible that the mind will start teaching the master, and that is considered not good. And ask genuine question for self-development. Whatever the question that is coming from heart for our own self-development, ask that question. Then Lord says, serve him. Not only physical serve him in different ways, but the critical service a disciple should do, or the important service the disciple should do, is following master's teaching. It is called the highest form of service. And then Lord says, if you do this, then knowledge will enter to you. And what will happen then? How is the experience? The experience is that you will see everything within yourself. And then you will see everything in God, which means that you will see no difference between outside, inside, and God. This is the final state of knowledge. This knowledge is like fire which burns all negativities, all sins, and this should be practiced with love, discipline, and humbleness or humility. And this will bring peace and stillness. Lord said, "O Arjuna, I told you the beauty of action that will bring us to knowledge, and hence I ask you," Lord is telling a little authoritatively, stand up. Caught your doubt through this sword of knowledge. Your doubt is arising from ignorance, and using this sword of knowledge that you are going to get from Master. In this case, Lord is the Master himself. Caught your doubt that is arising from ignorance through this sword of knowledge, and remain in peace and happiness. Hence, stand up and do your action. This is, we finished chapter 4. This was the important part of chapter 4. In chapter 5, we do not have much time, so I'll just briefly mention what chapter 5 is about. Chapter 5 is Karma Sannyasa Yoga. In chapter 5, Lord says, please do not discriminate between path of knowledge, path of action, because eventually they both lead to one, and only one result or destination. However, path of knowledge cannot be practiced without path of action. So with this, we will end today's discussion. We have one more class, and hopefully we will discuss very briefly chapter 5, 6, and also chapter 18. May the blessings of God and Gurus upon us all. Stay back for a minute. We'll do a little kirtan. As I said, it's called Swadhyaya Yajna. So stay for a minute. Okay. Can I start now? Thank you for your patience. So I just wanted to introduce ourselves again, because I don't know if you have remembered us. You know myself, I am Swami Sahajananda, Swami Omkaranandji, Brahmachari Prakashji, and one of our Guru brother who was not in town, Swami Satswarupanandji is here. So I forgot to tell in our class that this period from yesterday, a beautiful auspicious period is going on. Especially in Odisha, it is called very auspicious because the car festival started yesterday. Lord Jagannath, who is always inside the temple, comes out of the temple by himself. He along with his brother and sister for a 9 days visit. 9 days visit. So he comes out, see his world. Yesterday there were because of this coronavirus, there were barricades, but some of us went there and we prayed, "Oh Lord, you are here. Please bless everybody so that well-being of everyone is assured. So please bless everyone." So that is going on. So today we are going to do something Swamiji is going to do to remember and pray to Lord for everyone's well-being.
नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। बोले जगन्नाथ महाप्रभु की। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Jagannath, 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 pahi maam, Jagannath, Mahabahu, 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 Rakshama. Jagannath, 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 pahi maam, Jagannath, Mahabahu, 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 Rakshamam. Balabhadra, 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 pahi maam. Balabhadra, 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 Rakshamam. Masubhadra, 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 pahi maam. Sudarsana, 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 Rakshamam. Jagannath, 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 pahi maam. Jagannath, 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 Rakshamam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. बोले सद्गुरुदेव भगवान की, जगन्नाथ स्वामी की, बलभद्र भगवान की, सुभद्रा मैया की।
So thank you very much for joining today. And as I mentioned, Lord is out of His temple, within us, outside us. And may the blessings of Lord and Masters be upon us all. Let us pray for everyone in this world, for everyone suffering to end, everyone to be peaceful and joyful. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We'll again have our class on Friday. Today is Wednesday, Thursday tomorrow, day after tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Indian time, and then we'll have little kirtan after that as well. Thank you again.